And we're live. For real this time on One Decent Pastor.
Cool.
For real?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well,
He tried to.
Oh, yeah.
He tried to
Sometimes they
fake
try to
us
fake
out.
you out.
Never mind.
Right?
I know what
Yeah.
it means. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody says something weird, and I'll be like, yeah, we're live.
Yeah. Yep.
As
so
if it got picked
so
up
it
on
works
mic.
like this. This is what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon brought a piece of paper and he put his name at the top.
Here, let me fix this. Here. I don't want that to keep coming out.
Remember when you were in school and you did that? Like you had to put your name at the top. That's exactly what it looks like, dude. It made me smile when I saw it.
Anybody who's seen my handwriting know I didn't write that.
That's funny.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a chick wrote it.
Yeah, there we go. Is that better?
We have Gordon White here, not Walter White. Gordon White.
Ooh. Walter White.
He's better in every way than the other
There
guy.
you go.
Yes. So
Breaking,
good to have you.
breaking
Thank you.
good.
A lot of
Good to
people
be-
don't know who you are
good to
from
be
3R, so we're going to make sure that they
Okay,
do
cool.
after today. So
All right.
important guy.
People at 3R have heard of the infamous
They have.
infamous Gordon who has the place where we go camp a couple of times.
Yeah, there you go.
Camp.
Yes.
That's coming up.
So
too.
Yeah,
that
when we
might
do the
connect
men's
dot
camps.
for some people.
We already have the dates for that too.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
we say we're camping at Gordon's, this is the Gordon.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's at Gordon's house, out in the middle of nowhere. Just a bunch of solar panels and a big fire.
Exactly.
And some targets
A lot of targets.
and lots of space, man.
Yep.
It is a perfect place to
Got
do
a
what
bunch
we
of new
do out there.
batteries too. I got 2 more coming in.
Yeah.
Do you do the lithium ones? Is that what?
Yeah, these are all
Okay.
lithium. I switched over about a year and a half
All
ago.
right, so let me ask, like, how much does like one of those cost?
$1,700 a battery.
1,700,
Uh-huh,
and then
and
the life on them's like
Well, they say 2 to 5,000 cycles.
okay,
The ones I got a year and a half ago are on 132.
okay,
So those batteries will outlast me,
yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah.
because you run fully off the grid.
Totally off grid all the time.
That's kind of rad.
Yeah, and my fuel consumption has dropped to almost nothing.
Yeah,
I was doing $400 to $600 a month in the wintertime
wait.
just to keep
Like
my batteries
heating
charged.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, okay. Because I was thinking of your other fuel. You got a new wood stove this year, which
Oh, it's wonderful,
has
yeah.
cut that kind of fuel.
Yeah,
down
it's
too.
cut down a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of. I was doing about 6-7 cords with that wood eater one
Yeah.
that had no baffles in it, and this one I don't know. Jury's still out on that, but I think I've got 4 cords into it.
Yeah, you had to cut it down though.
Oh, it
from
ca-
what you
yeah,
were
it
doing.
just-
That other one was a wood hog.
Yeah, it was, and it
Yeah.
really heats well, really
Oh, good.
well, even in that minus 14.
Yeah.
It did really well.
Yeah, wood stoves are a good thing for those who have them. You know.
Yep.
And not to bring up a controversial subject, but you have Sasquatch out where you live.
Yeah, in fact, I got it. I upgraded my security system to that Blink.
No, you didn't.
I did. I did that, and last night I was hearing. No, I swear, I was hearing something. I've got a recording, and because I leave the mics on all the time, and I played them back this morning. It's like, wow, you
Where you're like, what is that?
yeah.
You don't find any scat, dude, stepping any
No, this
stinking.
is a distance away. Usually, I hear it to my south,
Yeah.
because there's nothing behind me.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and that's generally when I hear something. But yeah, I haven't heard anything.
So it's those interdimensional demons the Bible
Something-
talks about
something
popping
like
in and
that,
out
yeah.
around Gordon's house.
Yep, I haven't seen any UFOs, and then the Bigfoot. But yeah, that's okay.
No,
But
no
yeah,
weird
no, I heard
drones?
those, and who knows what it was? It could be anything. Could be
be
the
anything.
neighbors.
Yeah.
But yeah, weird. Like, and maybe later I'll play it for you if you're interested.
Well, we got to hear it now.
Yeah, you have
I
to
am
hear
interested.
it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty wild. And my
Yeah.
dog started. It's about 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
turned on the camera, and there was a dog I've never seen before walking around in the front yard. And well, I don't have a yard, but in the pump.
yeah, because you don't have many people around you.
No,
much
I've got the
not.
one guy in front of me, Dan, and he's there for the most part. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah.
that's why I work,
So,
especially in the wintertime, so I can have
Yeah,
social
get your
activity.
people fixed. Yeah.
Yeah, I can talk to people.
so if you didn't know, and you're not just known by Gordon, the guy that lives off. Now you're known by as Gordon 1.0. Also, because we have a Gordon 2.0.
What?
You don't know Gordon 2.0?
No, I don't.
He goes to La Pine, bro.
Second Gordon
Oh,
showed
the
up.
new one. He's
Yeah.
kind of new. Yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
so he's Gordon 2.0.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay,
But you're the genuine article.
It just
Okay.
sounds better than New Gordon. So
Yeah.
Gordon 2.0.
Well, and old Gordon.
Yeah, an old Gordon.
Nobody wants to be called old Gordon.
Exactly.
So Gordon
interesting.
here is the guy that has taken over our warming center ministry, for those of you who don't know, and it's literally changed
He's
everything
the
about it.
manager.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's taking it
coordinator,
over.
manager, coordinator. I don't know, whichever it is.
Yeah, boots on the ground.
Exactly.
Assistant to the manager.
Exactly.
Regional.
Yeah, this year has been pretty. You'll hear, but it's been pretty amazing.
No, I mean like the difference since you've come on and done your thing has been night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year was a learning year.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Tell us about yourself. What's your background?
My background. Hey,
Are you an Oregonian?
I am 100%.
Okay.
I was born in the Portland metro area.
Yes, but never ate at Pine State Biscuits, which is weird.
Never even heard of it. And I had a limo business on the side, and I knew Portland really well, but I never heard of that one.
I'm sorry.
Jake's Crab Shack, things like that.
Jake,
know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was born in Oregon. Went all through my school. I graduated from Rex Putnam High School. So a lot of people might know that, or I've heard of that before. After I graduated, I went a couple of years community college. I was a mechanic. I became a mechanic.
Really?
Yes. Back when you could work on cars.
Oh, not like a hitman.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of things are easy now, though. You
The
just plug
mechanic.
something in and the computer changes.
Okay.
But that was back when you could work on cars. And I got tired of my hands being beat
Yeah,
up and cut
sure.
all the time. I thought I'd do something different. So I said, well, maybe I'd be a cop. So I started pursuing that. And in 1979, I got hired with Clackamas County Sheriff's Office.
Nice.
And I worked there for till 1985. And I went over to a little town called Molalla, which was about 3,000 when I started. I think it's about 12 or 13,000 now.
Molalla.
Molalla.
Which is outside of Port.
Yeah, it's the far south part of Clackamas
Okay.
County, which is Clackamas County is
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
1,800
So
square
you
miles.
said Molalla. That's
Yeah.
the right way to say it, not Malala.
Or
A lot
Wallala.
of people say
the
Molalla. I say
Wallalas.
Malala, but
Yeah.
a lot of people Molalla.
Isn't it like
Malala.
sitting
It's
in
Malala
Malala, waiting for my...
Waiting for my yaya. Yeah.
So Malala Indians are no longer, but many years ago they merged with the Siletz tribe. Is it over there by Grand Ron area or Grand Ron? Yeah.
You might be asking the wrong group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, well then I can make it up, but yeah, that's what it was.
So you're an Oregonian.
Oregonian,
70, what? You became a popo?
79.
The popo?
May 22nd of 1979.
That's awesome. Which is part of why, well, we'll get to it. It's
Yeah.
part of why we called upon you
There you go.
to
There
come
you
and do
go.
a very special service for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, in 1985, I went to the city of Molalla. There was a reason for that. With the county, I felt like I was a secretary on wheels. Didn't get time to do things, and we had contracts, Estacade and Wilsonville at the time. And nobody liked that, and I trade into that because I had weekends off, believe it or not. But anyway, so I trade into that, and because I liked it, it was a lot slower, but you could do police work. Got to know who's supposed to be there, who isn't. So that's when I started applying for different places. Started with Canby. I tried with Milwaukee, Oregon City, Lake Oswego. But anyway, Malala hired me. And they got to do a bunch of amazing things there. Just got to start about 3 programs. Anyway, I'll just go real quick. I was a detective. Did not like that. That was boring. After Columbine, the city council wanted us to form a SWAT team. So the chief came to me and says, "Make it happen." So I was a commander of a SWAT team, and we did that for about 3.5 years. And then I was.
Were you a Christian this whole time?
I was, yeah. I've been since from birth. I was a Christian. I just didn't walk with the Lord.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
But I was always a believer. Never doubted. Never fell away from it. So
Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's okay. Then I was on an interagency task force for a year and a half, which was really cool. There was one person from each agency, a DA assigned to us, and we would work anything up to federal narcotics cases, and that was a lot of fun. And then I went into K-9, got to put a program together at K-9 for about 5 years. And then I did.
And you still have a canine.
I do.
You just can't walk away from it. Can you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've always had K-9s. And then I was a motor officer. I started a motor unit, and I drove a nice Harley Davidson. I couldn't believe they paid me to do that. That was a lot of fun. So that's kind of what, basically, in a nutshell, what I did for a living. Did it for about 34, 35 years altogether.
Yeah. So
Nice.
you're kind of very familiar with
At least-
law enforcement and
At least as
what's
it was
out there,
10
and
and a half years ago.
yeah,
You know,
the challenges that are out there.
challenges
Did you
that are out.
ever see yourself doing a ministry like this coming from where you came from? Because when you're out there, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I don't tend to think of homeless people being like the favorite people on the
No.
top of like the list of law enforcement.
No, it's not at all. And again, I never really had. I didn't have anything against homeless people. in my career, like a lot of other people there, I'd put people up in motels for a week and things because, you know, they don't have any place to go.
Yeah.
But when you dealt with them, it was always negative. They're sleeping in somebody's shed. They're in the park, you know, and you're going, leave.
Right.
You go anywhere but here.
Right.
You know, and then they would go somewhere else, and I'm sure they'd hear the same thing. Go back where you came from, or go any place but here. So yeah, I was very, very cynical and judgmental.
Yeah, they're not being responsible, productive members of society, like everybody else that you're trying to protect.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of my.
So when did you move to Central Oregon and why?
Okay.
You retired, right?
I retired in 2014, March 1st.
No.
I had about 4 months later, no, a month later. Yeah. Anyway, whatever it was, I bought a cabin out here in Lapine, and I've been thinking about it for several years, and I ended up getting a 10-acre parcel in the National Forest, totally off grid. And if anybody, I'm dating myself, if anybody's ever watched the old show Green Acres with Eddie Albert.
It's the place to be.
Yeah.
And Ava Gabor.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't born when that was out, but I've seen reruns.
Exactly. Well, there's reruns. Yeah, that's where I saw it too. But anyway, if you ever look at that or bring it up and you look at what their house looks like, that's what my cabin looked like.
Your cabin's pretty
It needed a
cool.
lot of cosmetics.
It's pretty cool, man. And then you got another little cabin out back. and
Yeah,
we
I put another one in the back. It's a 12 by 28.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's all set up. Got power in it. It's got you know, the whole bit. It was kind of like a bunkhouse.
Dude, what I love the most about your little joint is if you walk into the bathroom, your sink is like a whiskey barrel.
It is.
with the sink cut into it, and it's like I got to make one of these for me.
Yeah. I'd seen those.
It's so
and,
cool.
And I'm not a carpenter at all. And I bought it. I think it was. What's that? 9 barrel? Is there a place called 9 Barrels or 10 Barrels?
10
Yeah,
barrels.
that's what
Yeah.
it said on it.
Yeah.
I bought it from this lady, and she says, "Yeah, just send me pictures." So I sent her pictures when I got it done,
It's super cool.
and I put a galvanized bucket that I got at Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
For it, but anyway, it's still there, still not leaking, which is a surprise.
That's awesome. So we need to. I need to stop the banter now.
Okay.
I need to know a little bit of background. They need to know a little bit of background.
Okay.
When was it? 2 years ago? Year and a half ago we came to you? So we were having a challenge. I mean,
Well, I came to you first.
okay.
But
Wait, I don't remember it that way, dude. Don't try to take the credit for...
no, I'm not taking the credit. I think I talked with Chad about it, but that's okay. Yeah.
No, because Chad was
Yeah.
doing this for years. I think most of our people know this part, trying to juggle this thing as he's pastoring down there. And then when the churches merged, I got in on it a little bit. So me and Chad would he would take the bulk of it, but like we would both try to make this thing happen. And it was a challenge. And the volunteers as well that we had running it each season, about half of them at the time were not really churchgoers, probably not
Right.
even Christians.
Right.
So there were interesting dynamics at the level of the staff and the volunteer, and
Correct.
we knew it was kind of exhausting and challenging. We knew something had to change, and so the way I remember it, my version of the story is that we would sit down and brainstorm the pastors.
Okay.
If we had anybody that would make sense. Does this sound right, Chad?
Yeah.
Thank you. And it was you. It was like immediately like,
Yeah.
oh, Gordon. I
I
wonder
think
if
at the
Gordon
same
would.
time, though, Gordon was thinking
No, you're
things
probably-
like,
I didn't
like
know it
God,
was gonna
God was
happen.
doing a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Like, I didn't think you would even like agree to it. Like, I didn't think that you would. I didn't think anyone in their right mind would say yes, which brings
Well, then
us to
I fit that. So yeah.
which
I'm
brings
not
us
in
to
my
the
right
third
mind.
question: why in the world did you decide to do this?
Well, anyway, I'd seen some things, that because I'd come to church and there'd be people from the warming center that would
Yes.
stay over because they were cold, which
Yes.
is great. And but there were some things, I was talking with Jacques, and Jacques goes, "Well, that person," I go, "Well, there's things need to be done here, And so I think I went to Pastor Chad. He happened to be preaching that day when I decided to do that, and I said, "Hey, if you ever need anything, my background, I did, for security, for this and that, let me know." And that's kind of pretty much it. And then
remember
pretty
that
soon we
too.
got the door fixed,
Yeah.
and we got the camera system, and
Yeah, things started getting done.
yeah,
that
and then I
needed
got
to
a
be done.
call.
Yeah.
Do you want me to finish the story?
I don't care.
Okay, well then I got a call. Do you guys want to meet with me? And I kind of had an idea what it might be about. So we went over.
It's never good when the pastors say, "Hey, you want to meet?"
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Hey there, fella, buddy boy.
So I wrote down some things because I figured I kind of had an idea of what it might be, and I can remember, which is going to answer your question. Why did I do
Yes.
this?
Did you put your name on top of the piece of paper that you? No, I'm just kidding.
right
Sorry,
here?
Gordon.
Okay. Well, that's a different
To
story.
Gordon.
Sorry, you wrote
So-
some things down.
So anyway, you asked me, yeah. I said, yeah. Do you have any questions? And I says, yeah. I says, I asked you guys, well, why are you offering me this? And it was dead silent. So you were going to ask me another question, and I went ahead and I told why I wanted this, and then you said that answered my question. You were
Okay.
gonna ask me.
Gotcha.
But anyway, I mentioned to you guys, I'm very cynical, judgmental.
Yes.
And I said it's more for me than it is for them, because it's gonna it's like I hope that for the first year I was here and I'd be about here. I mean, the first year I was
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a side of people. I was very fortunate. I was never homeless. I had a roof over my head, food on the table, clothes. I don't know what it's like to be homeless. I really don't.
And I mean, in all fairness, most of them choose that lifestyle.
Some
but,
of- yeah, a
but
lot
at
of
the
them
same
do.
time, you're looking at real people,
Yeah.
good and bad.
Yeah.
And the thing that really
decisions.
bothered me the most is when I'd be praying and I'd be thinking about this, and I'm thinking, let's say it was the most wretched person you could ever imagine. And let's say you could zoom in, and there they are, half turning blue, freezing to death at night.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody deserves that.
Yep,
Just-
yep.
they just
There's a
don't.
neat thing that happens every year. We see it where
Yeah.
people kind of with some hesitation say, "Okay, I'll help out with this thing,"
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like you, will say, "I got some definite thoughts about
Right. Mm-hmm.
the people that we serve and those kinds of things," and so they need a little bit of nudging and arm twisting, and then they jump in. And by the end of the season, like your story's not dissimilar to others, where they're like, "These are real human beings that have real hurts and
God
difficulties."
love us all the same.
Things
Yeah,
that I
it's
haven't
a-
faced, and you begin to have a heart for
Yep.
people that you didn't really have a heart for before.
Yeah, it's a heart softener.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind
it,
of
it
cool.
really,
You
it
start
really, really is.
And I mean, there are frustrations there too. We've had the people
yeah,
on the other hand that have come and said,
Sure.
"I don't know if I can do this anymore." You know what I mean? Because you are challenged mentally,
Yeah.
psychologically, relationally, challenged at times. But at the end of the day, we've seen a lot more softening go on than hardening. And you're obviously one of those guys. Which
Yeah,
is so
I mean,
cool.
I've got so far to go, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've come a long way. So, the current chief of Malala, Chris Long, I hired him when he was 18. We were doing K9 to be a quarry, and so we put him in as a special so he could be covered if he got bit by workman's comp. Well, he's a chief now.
Yeah.
Well, when he found we talk every couple months, or whatever. But last year he's talking. I'm telling him, it's dead silence. You do what?
Yeah, I'll bet. Yep.
You do what?
Yep.
No, this isn't the person I would think that would ever do it. And I said I didn't either.
That's
The Lord
crazy.
touched me with it, and it's
That's
just kind
awesome.
of like, hey,
God does stuff like that.
He
with
does,
us.
so-
He actually changes us.
He changes. Well, see, I bought this cabin just to get away, and then had no intentions of leaving. I lived in a beautiful home outside of Malala on some acreage, was married the whole bit, and all of a sudden one weekend my marriage just went south.
Mm-hmm.
And so here I move out here, and I don't want to be here. I don't know anybody here. And anyway, there's a reason for everything. He put me out here for a
No,
reason.
it's so.
I
cool.
mean, literally put me out here for a reason. Gave me some purpose.
yeah.
So that's kind of in a nutshell of why I took it. Actually, I'm really blessed to have this. I'm like I said, I never stopped thinking about it.
Well, we're blessed to have you doing it. Like again, like there's just confirmation like every week of you being the right guy to do it for us. Like we sleep at night, we rest easy, we don't trip out on things
Right.
we used to
We
trip
know
out
you
on.
got
probably
under
don't
control.
get phone calls in the middle of the night either.
It's just no. Well, Chad might get one or
once in
two.
a while, but
I don't,
Not much.
which I'm good with.
Yeah, okay.
But it's like you coming in this year, it's been night and day. Just the way
Thank
that
you.
everything's
That's
run,
really
the
nice.
efficiency of it, just attention to detail,
Mm-hmm.
improving things. This went out, of course, the other day. This year, since the beginning of the season,
which was December 1st for those. that
December
don't know.
1st, 508 meals
November, actually.
have been consumed, 320 showers taken, 276 stays, sleepovers have been had since the season's opening, which is just a couple months ago.
Yeah,
So that's amazing.
that's 1,104. We've already beat last year.
Yeah, man.
By a
So
couple, I think it was an
Thank
8
you.
something.
Yeah, I think we were 800 something
Yeah.
last year.
and part of this, of course, is the staff that you've put together too. I mentioned earlier that when Chad had it, and even when we started, it was a mixed staff of just anybody who would put up their hand, right?
Yeah,
Kind of like
exactly.
warm bodies.
People from the
Yeah.
community that were compelled
Exactly.
by it.
And
That's
what's
kinda
cool
how it got
now
started.
is the Lord has created a shift to where we're we're pretty much staffed just by Christians, by people even
Right,
in the
exactly.
church,
Exactly.
which is fantastic.
Yeah, the church has bought into it.
The church has bought
which
into
wasn't
it.
the case in the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
the church kind of bought into it partially in
Yeah,
the beginning.
exactly.
Like they loved the idea that it was happening, but kind of nobody wanted to get their hands
Yes.
dirty with the work, and that dynamic has
More
shifted
soft
over
hearts,
time.
yeah, in the church.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges? Yes, things are running well. Yes, things are
exactly.
improving going forward. What are some of the biggest challenges that you still face, or in this ministry? Because there's a reason why most churches don't do ministries like this.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few. I would say, here's the thing. Originally, I used to think, well, let's just build homes and put them in there. Well, I couldn't be more wrong. You've got addiction.
Yeah.
You have mental health issues.
and a lot of times those are connected.
And they're connected, one or all or
Yeah.
whatever. And then that's the biggest thing. So you can't, in my opinion, you can't just put them in a house.
Right.
Because one, they live out, whether it be a tent, an awning, an RV. Even in Central Oregon, the group says if you couch surf, you're considered homeless.
Right.
So
Yeah, when I was at the doctor the other day getting that shot
Yeah.
that I got, that was on one of my forms to fill out.
yeah,
Where do you sleep?
Where
Do you have a place you call a home? How many times have you moved in a lot? Like it's like none of your business. But it's those questions they're trying to determine, like if you're homeless,
Right,
You're
right.
considered homeless. Yeah,
so that's kind of the challenge. I've always said, it costs a lot of money to do these things, but it's a lot cheaper. You're going to spend so much. Public's going to spend more money than in the future if they don't do anything. And it's not law enforcement, it's not fire departments, it's not churches. It's a community problem.
yeah.
It literally is everybody. It affects everybody.
So the challenges is one of the major challenges is there's no real solution, which will actually bring us to a gospel solution. But like you can't just throw something at this and fix the homeless problem. Otherwise, we would have fixed it a long time ago.
Right. Well, there is a solution. Solutions are easy. It's implementing them that's difficult.
Okay.
Well, a lot of those solutions are kind of band-aids on bullet wounds.
Yeah, exactly.
surface, yeah.
I was thinking about that. I talk with Becca a lot, because Becca's just a go-getter.
Yeah, she's got a huge heart too for these.
A huge
this
heart.
community. Yeah.
And, that just, we got to, because there's a lot of money out there. I mean, a lot of federal grants and things and stuff like that. And I wonder, well, what if they took all the federal grants in Central Oregon? I don't have any idea what they are. What could they do with that?
Well, Kotech,
Yeah.
right now,
The federal
Tina
grants might be
Kotech's
drying up,
trying to-
but
Is
state
she?
grants.
Okay.
she's
state
trying to
grants,
build
yeah.
that up, but the challenge too is that we still need to live within our means, even at you know what I mean, at a
Right.
government level. like that's something we all have to do, and it's something we also
Right.
need to do at a So I mean, part of the whole issue and the stirring up that's going right now with the changing of administrations
Right,
is how they're
exactly.
cleaning house and they're starting to have some checks and balances. Unfortunately, there's going to be some things like this that
Right.
are going to need some checks and balances too. You can't just
Exactly.
keep going into
But
debt
for us,
to-
and this isn't on the list, but it might be worth mentioning that we have a theology behind these kinds of things of why we do what we do and why the church should do things like this for the community. It's not kind of what we would call maybe mercy ministries in the church. It's not the primary reason that the church exists. However, the church does exist to lean into these kinds of things as we're able to. And,
So if we get a minute or a night with these people, or a couple days with them coming in and staying, there just might be a gospel
You
conversation.
got one that's coming in there on a regular basis.
Oh yeah. There just might be a gospel conversation that takes place
That's-
that changes the way that they now view life and the direction they're going, due to
Exactly.
who Christ is and what He does to us and in us. Okay, so that's really the biggest.
Yeah.
So we do see that as the biggest thing we're battling is a heart condition, and
Right.
which leads to a lifestyle issue, which everything else falls out of
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So, yeah. Yep. So what other challenges other than just the fact that there's not a real simple solution for?
Well, I don't have statistics. I can
yeah.
just go on what I see. I
Yeah.
could be totally wrong, but I would say there's a few of them that are there by choice.
Yeah.
Okay, now that doesn't mean there isn't ways out, but they're by themselves or with another person. They have no time management. If they want to get up at 2 a.m. and eat, they do it. If they want to have a cigarette at 4, they have it. They come in here and their structure. And that's probably one of the I've had people say
Sure.
it's like jail.
Totally. Where they'll even smuggle things in. And,
Yeah.
and a lot of times we can't. There's not much we can do about
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
'cause
Well,
we-
yeah, we don't there's
We're a certain level of
Right.
of a facility, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big one that we face, you
Yeah.
know. And a lot of them have been home. There's one lady there that's been homeless for 35 years. Mm-hmm. Literally homeless, you know. Lives in a car wherever.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just you have to treat, like I said before, you have to treat all three of those things.
Yes. And then the cool thing is that sometimes we get people in that have just fallen into a hard circumstance.
Right,
They're
yeah.
going through town, they're traveling, their car breaks down, their car's going to be in a shop in La Pine
Yep.
for a week. They need a place to stay. Sometimes
And we
they
have that
kids.
for 'em.
Yeah,
We've
so
got that one room, it's overflow room, but that's what
Yes.
we use for if a family comes in.
Yes. So
Boom,
it
put them
does
all in there
that.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the challenges are vast, obviously. Like we could probably talk for an hour on just the challenges of such a ministry. I think everybody knows some of the challenges. So
Sure.
I
how
think
about
pretty early on, I think we had to realize kind of what our lane is.
Yeah.
That, like we can't treat mental illness, we can't treat
No.
addiction and those kinds of things, but we can keep people warm for a night and kind of had to become okay with like they need much more than this, but this is something that we can do that matters.
Exactly.
And it is changing because, like I said, I keep plugging Becca, but she's got that new position, and there's 3 people. She moved in there like 3 weeks ago. There's 2 or 3 people that are actually going in and seeing her.
Yeah.
Come into the office. What can we do? How can we do this and that? Things like that. So that is a positive thing, and it's
For
not
sure.
just like somebody to talk to.
Right.
I mean, she's got a wealth of resources, and and things are going to happen. They just are.
How many people have you had to 86 this year?
Oh my goodness, I hate to say this.
Is it a long list?
about 5.
Yeah.
About 5.
But so that sounds weird, and obviously you're not happy about it
No,
the way
I'm
that you
not.
said it. At the same time, before you were in here implementing
Mm-hmm.
rules, we weren't 86ing people
It was
really,
few and
and
far
so
between,
it was turmoil from the same people over and over again because
Right.
it didn't happen. So
Yeah.
it's a necessary
It is.
part of
It-
keeping
yeah.
this thing moving forward.
Well, I look at it this way. I tell the staff and the volunteers, you're responsible for these people. You're
Yep.
responsible for their safety. The safety of the staff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a person, there wasn't consistency, and you'd have one person that would let them get away with it, and then the brother or sister come into work in a couple of days, and they'd have to put up with it. Sure. So you got to look at that. It's just the less of the two evils. You just have to.
You've brought some needed structure. In
You
that
have
area.
to. There's just but majority. Hey, and when I say that they've been trespassed, they got to do a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll have bad days just like you and I have, you
Sure.
know, and maybe they'll be spouting off or whatever. And I had one guy at a trespass last year who was getting beat up all the time,
yeah.
literally getting beat up. And I was talking with somebody who'd been there for, oh yeah, he gets beat up every year. Well, why is he here? I mean, you get in trouble for that, But anyway, he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's got a place now, I think, over in Redmond. So, and it's just his personality. And if you have a mental illness, like I try to explain to the staff, I go, there's certain things you can't fix
Right.
because of their situation. They can't process that. So this is how they're going to be, literally. I mean, like there's, some of them you just can't.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
So you're not just looking for reasons to throw the book at somebody.
No.
Like you guys are actually pretty darn gracious.
Yeah,
And
I believe
you
that.
guys are for them, and you're going to
Yes,
do
we
everything
are.
you can
Right.
to not kick them out. But at the end of the day, you will if you have to, and that's kind of where you've been, and it was much needed actually.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the other bigger challenges that we even saw prior to you coming on and overseeing it was the staff challenges, because that consistency wasn't there,
Right,
And you had
exactly.
different personalities running the show, running the house
Right.
on different nights.
Yep.
Even to where some of the homeless people, some of the guests started picking what night they would come in.
Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause they
Because
knew
this
it was
dude was
working.
going to let him do something that this dude
Exactly.
wouldn't. And so like all that has to be corrected. It's an absolute challenge.
Yeah.
If everyone's not running, in
Well, I
the same way,
realized,
so.
that, I can't, nor is it my God-given right to try to change somebody's personality.
Yeah, sure, sure.
I can change how they rules and things and stuff like that. But actually, if we all had the same personality, it'd be a very boring world.
I don't know, man.
I think
I don't know.
Brent would quite like it.
I
No,
think
that's
I-
fine.
It would solve a lot of his problems. Yeah. Do you have any questions for this guy, Brian? You're just sitting over there, like, taking it all in.
Just taking it in.
Never mind. Let's talk rewards. We already talked about some of these. One of them is that we get softer hearts
Yes,
for people that we used to
exactly.
despise. And, of course, that's Christ in us that does that through this. But there's quite a few rewards that come out of this. I mean, even the fact that we're just doing what Jesus tells us to.
Oh no,
It's kind of rad.
You know, there's. I remember when I first became law enforcement, 1979. My coach, and he says, "You know what? If in your career you change somebody's life for the better, even if it's just one, it's all worth it." Last year, we've changed. There's been 2 people
Yeah.
that had nothing. I mean, literally homeless.
One of them in particular is blowing my mind, and I think you're going to bring him up. But if
Yeah.
you don't, I will.
Well, I don't want to say his name.
I want to.
Okay.
No, I don't have to. I don't have
But
to say
anyway,
it. But you took him home.
Well, wait a
personally.
second.
Okay. all right.
Yeah, that's kind of how I provide an opportunity.
Yes.
Why I picked this person is last year we're getting snow like crazy, and I was working a day shift, covering because we were open because of the cold weather during all 24 hours a day, and I'm walking out and he's just finishing shoveling the snow off that walkway. I'm going, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of picked that person.
He's doing something selfless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what he had done, he actually brought his snow shovel. He was going to go around and see if he could make some money.
Yeah.
And he didn't, so he came in there, and so he did that.
Is this the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
And then I got a call 2 to 3 weeks ago from one who was there last year every day, every single day. And if not, he was sleeping in his car. He called me, like I said, a couple weeks ago. He got his mom moved out of this facility that she was in a newer one, and he's now working at the old facility 40 hours a week. And he called
Nice.
for the one purpose, and he met him. He's come to the retreat and things. One thing he says, I just want to call and let you know and tell everybody thank you very much for what,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
We do get that even as pastors sometimes.
Yeah,
'cause I'll go down
yeah.
and help do the food market, and I'll position myself so I can take the food out to their cars. And I can't tell you the amount of
It's
basically
crazy.
homeless people that sleep in their cars that come and get food that say like, what you guys are doing here
It's amazing.
is a game changer.
It is.
But the first dude I want to go back to, because this is part of when we knew we had the right guy. Because this was like a year and a half ago when you first
But let
brought
me
this.
finish before
No,
you say.
Gordon, I'm running this.
Okay, well, wait a second. But I'm the guest.
You are, and you're my elder.
So yeah, that's true. We don't have to bring that up. But anyway, so people say, yeah, so and so said that you. No, it's not what I didn't do anything. It's a ministry. It's everybody working in here. I just was able to provide an opportunity, and that's it. So it's not me. First of all, it's the
huge
Lord
team effort.
Right.
doing it, and and touching everybody else. So, I'm not going to take any credit for it, but it's not me. It's everybody as a group.
Well,
So
it's rad that you bought in
I bought it. Yeah.
to like what you hear come out of the Word of God, and you know what I
exactly.
mean. Just how we
gotta
get to
take
look at
chances
Jesus and
sometimes.
go like, this kind of looks like that, and we either buy into it or we ignore half of it because
Exactly.
we don't like what it does. So. You have definitely bought into it, but it was about a year and a half ago or something. I remember when this dude came home with you. It seems like it was at least that long ago.
First part of March.
Okay.
About a year then.
And you put him up in your place, and he got a job. You helped him get a job.
No, he did that on his own. But
Okay.
what I did when I approached him, I said, listen, in 1 year from now, you're going to have a full-time job. You'll have a vehicle of your own to drive in a place to live in. Look at me, he says, that'll never happen. I said, what are you talking about? Why wouldn't it? So he had a place to live. He found a job pretty quick, and then he needed a car, and I have my plow truck. I'm not going to drive it ever. If it gets wrecked, it gets wrecked, dude. He put insurance on it, the whole bit. And then it was really exciting. About 3 or 4 months ago, I went over to Crooked River Ranch, Christian couple over there, and he bought this 1999 vehicle that literally looked like it rolled off the showroom floor. And so he's got his own vehicle.
Nice.
This dude is so awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's a sweet guy. It's hard to imagine that's who he was just a short
exactly.
time ago. But a lot of that's, I mean, you brought him home, you helped him do the things. He got a job. He still has that job.
Still has that
He
job.
and like I know who the people are and what the job is, and it's like you're earning your money.
Yeah,
like,
he's earning his money.
right. And I don't hear him complain. He shows up to church pretty much every Sunday
Yeah.
still. He has his Bible open. He's taking it. He even comes up sometimes, makes comments after. And that's the stuff you look at and you go,
Exactly.
okay, I don't know how many people have come through here, but this one has made every single one of them worth it.
Yep.
And this is what
Yeah.
it's all about.
It is.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
You know,
But thank you for
Oh, yeah, sure.
having a big heart, obviously.
I can remember because he was looking for a job and he had like 5 apps in or 5 applications in, and he got that one job, and the next day the other 3 called him. And the first job wasn't the one he necessarily wanted to take. Well, he was in it like a month or 2, and we're talking. We're in my cabin and having coffee, and he says, "Yeah," he goes, I need to get another. I want to get another job, but I'm not just going to leave this person because that's not the godly thing to do."
Right. Right.
Yeah, so it's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
no,
pretty
it's,
cool.
It's amazing, man. It's
Yeah,
so
but he's
cool
still
to see that.
doing it. He goes to work. He's never late. He just.
So these are obvious rewards.
These are
You know
unbelievable
what?
rewards.
Sometimes God changes people.
Yeah, you think?
You know, and
Part of
and sometimes He uses us, and so let's go ahead and buy in to what God would have us
Exactly.
buy into.
Part of the messiness of the work is that not every story is like that one.
No,
No.
In fact,
for- no.
most of them aren't.
Most
No,
of them
and I
are.
didn't.
that one,
I
right.
was just a wish, but it's it's there was actually 2 for this year, and I was really close. But anyway, there's still one that might have a really good outcome. So, man, can you imagine?
And what's cool is on Sundays they come in too. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But they'll sit there in Sunday morning services, because it's a warm place. So they'll stay, and I'll see an average. This year I've seen an average of maybe 3 to 4 dudes that
Yep.
sit in Sunday morning service. They have a Bible open, or they grab one, or maybe they don't. But
Yeah.
they're sitting in there listening
They
to
are.
the gospel
Yeah.
being proclaimed, So
And we've had some really mild weather, so
Yeah.
Well, recently, but I mean, there's been a lot of times that they're not there just a place to keep warm. At that
Right.
point.
no.
They're
No,
there they're there for the reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
no, it's
we've
pretty
had
cool.
some instances over the years too where maybe somebody stayed with us and took advantage of the warming center years ago, and then you don't see them for a few years, and then they wander back.
Yeah.
And maybe like one guy in particular I'm thinking of who kind of got some stability in life and came back.
Yeah.
And isn't there every Sunday, but once in a while for
sure.
pops
Right.
in for a church service
For sure.
So even if we don't see like the immediate results, we don't know what's going to happen down the road.
Completely.
How God's going to use those people's time with us over time.
Yeah, there is a guy who lives across from the church, and he was it was last week. He was just in 7th heaven, and he got hired. I call it the Red Barn.
Does his name start with a G?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah,
Got a job.
That
Got
dude's
it.
been on a cloud.
yeah. And then he came. I was in there yesterday. I'm in there every day, but anyway, I was in there, and he came up and he showed me this. He said, "Look at this, his pay stub." And I'm like,
Nice.
"That's really cool."
And he's been at church every Sunday for like the last 2 months or so.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him to come over and sit over by me.
Yeah.
He's because of past.
Yes.
He says he wants somebody to watch his back, so that's why he goes over that one, and that's totally fine. He's inside there. He's inside the walls, but I want it'd be nice to get him to come over and
Yeah.
because his back will be against the wall.
Yeah.
and I'll be right
this-
next to him.
It's
so.
exciting to see. Kind of
Yeah,
what's
I
going
know,
on in
it's-
him right
it's-
now because you can tell that something different's going on, and he knows it. He knows something different's going on in his life right now. That it's.
I
kind
think
of a turning
he's
point. So.
I think he's 6 or 7 weeks clean.
Yeah.
Said like 50 some days, coming up on 60
Is that
days.
what it is?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So let's briefly talk. We've already talked about some of this, some of the changes we've made this year, which we've already talked about some as far as
Sure.
overall structure, like is totally changed, which it needed. It was totally loosey-goosey, which is how I like things, but not with a ministry like this. I found that I did not like that. There needed to be structure. You provided that, so that's obviously one of them, but maybe what does some of that structure look like? If
Well,
you zoom
yeah,
in?
again, like you said, when I came in there, it's no slam against anybody. I couldn't find schedules. I could,
That's because there weren't any.
there
Yeah,
weren't,
they didn't
which
exist.
is fine.
There's a reason
which
for
is
that.
fine. So
There's
that's
no,
what.
there's no paper trail, bro.
So I spent about the first 5-6 weeks just creating forms and doing things and stuff like that. So I'll tell you what's changed. It's called. I've got it written. The acronym is. It's for HMIS, and what it is: a Homeless Management Information System. That's something new. It's in Central Oregon. Becca and I went to the training a couple months ago.
It's awesome.
And what it is, it's amazing what these people. So they ask a lot of questions, there's a lot of questions they ask, birthdays, how many are in your family? Where do you live? What type of things, stuff like that. And I figured they'd be, no, probably 95% of the people answer it. Mm-hmm. And so what they do, all this information is into the database, and law enforcement doesn't have access to it. It's just strictly that. But what's really cool about it is, being it's all in the same system, there could be, let's say, a social services that maybe has an opening for a job or for a housing. And they can reach out to them. We don't even know about it. They reach out to them on that. And then she got even more because she'd gotten a whole bunch of $5, like a big old stack of $5 McDonald's cards. So now, hey, you fill this out, you get one of the, oh boy, it's almost 100%. But what's really, I would say that's one of the big changes there, the HMIS system. Because that's works to everybody's advantage, and they're actually, most of them are getting that. And they'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah,
and
that's a statewide system where they track kind of movements and where people are staying, and bed nights and those kinds of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's great for resources down the road, grants, whatever. That I think that'd be a big advantage is the grants. Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
I just. There's just so many things that, like I said, that one form is really interesting. I'll tell you the other thing that's really amazing. It started last year. I came to you, Pastor David, and I said, hey, can we get uniform shirts?
Yeah.
And your question was, well, why? Well, the thing is, you got to understand, I know the church is small, but we have our kitchen. We have the lunchroom. That's kind of where everybody sits. Well, it's even better this year. I mean, people will walk in to spend the night or to give a donation. They look around the room and they go, who's in charge?
Yeah.
Because
you all look homeless.
We're eating with these people. We're watching TV with these people. We're interacting with these people. And there's a couple of them that have come in last year and this year, and they were standoffish and have a conversation. So there's a little form that Becca has, just like 5 or 6 things. You rate them by number, of like what's most important, like a job or a place to live or whatever it might be. So I filled one out, what I felt they would do. So they really got involved in that. There was 3 of them. They filled theirs out and said, here, let's compare them. And I wasn't even close. I was not even close, which tells you, even though I'm exposed to this a lot and stuff, I really don't know what their deep down feelings and desires are. Mm-hmm. But there was an eye-opening thing, and they'll just share that with you. Yeah. Just literally share it with you.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So that's what, there's a trust there. I probably have 3 or 4 people that come there that are personal friends of mine. I've invited them over, like to my event, to the men's camp out, things like that. I remember when I got my business cards last year, and you go, no, you don't want your home phone number on there. And I said, yeah, I do. No, you don't. Yes, I do. Okay, you would not believe what that brings in, because people will call me for donations. Hey, well, we're 5 to 7. Well, I don't do that. When do you want to meet? And we set it up, and we meet them down there. There's been, I don't think there's.
So you haven't regretted it?
No, I got one prank call the first year, and they never called me back.
That was me. I just
I got bored.
Yeah,
Brent just tested.
Yeah, but no, it's been really amazing. And I know you got me more cards. You're probably thinking, what did you do with all those cards last year? I hand those
You've
out.
gone through them, yeah.
I hand those out everywhere.
We won't talk about your email returns.
Yeah, don't email them.
Well, nobody's been able. I don't feel so bad, because if Pastor Brent
It's your
can't
phone.
figure it out,
It's your phone. There's
my
something.
phone?
Yeah, I can get you set up on a computer.
Not you. It's your phone.
It's my phone. Okay.
Which gets you off the hook. Okay, we got to wrap this up.
I was just going to say real quick, I don't know what other shelters are like, but I think one of the things that maybe we have going for us is I think we're highly relational.
Yeah.
Maybe more so than most other. I'm just guessing. I don't know that. Yeah. But I think we're highly relational, and I think that's a draw for some people, to come in and utilize what we have.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Going forward, what are some of the biggest, greatest ways that the body of Christ, whether it's that location or harder with this location, but this is part of what we do.
Yeah,
this is part of what God's given us as the door to do, and it's an important ministry. How can people help, buy in, support, whatever?
Boy, I keep doing what they're doing, but there is a lot of things, just the awareness. It's amazing when I have the open house or when people come in to donate. Want a tour?
Yeah.
What? They said they have no idea that this is like that. No idea.
Yeah,
and
it's
they
pretty
just keep coming in.
And they're like, this is a church building? And it's like,
it's a church building.
It's a warming center. But yeah.
But yeah, it's, and you can't help it. I mean, you're sitting in the church, people have Bibles out doing that. And what I think, they hear the gospel, but I don't lecture, hey, you need to do that. And what happens is they see there's something different about us.
Yeah, for sure.
And after a period of time, they want the same thing.
Yeah.
And then they figure,
Yeah.
how they do that. So it's just, sometimes they just need somebody to talk to and to listen to them, and,
For sure.
and feel their feelings.
The
as best as you
relational
Right.
component.
can. Yeah, that's right.
No,
So-
seeing again, a lot of times there's no love for the homeless community,
Right.
And they're just a nuisance. And to see a group of people that are just loving them, because that's what God would have us do.
Exactly.
Then they connect the dots back to why,
Yep.
and that's why we that's why
When I
we're
had
part
the
of it.
open house last year, only 2 people showed up.
Yeah.
We'll have another one. I had nine people from the volunteers and staff that showed up, and the one person we were talking about who is just doesn't want. He agreed to give tours.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
and so I'm thinking if they got in for a tour, it's going to come up in conversation. That they're there and they're going to look at him. They're probably going to think, "Well, you just look like a normal person."
Yeah.
Well, you are a normal person.
I'm not only the president.
Yeah.
I'm also a client.
I'm also a client. Exactly. So
That's
yeah.
going to date some people who know what
And the
that
food,
is
we
in
got an
reference to.
email. I got to throw this in real quick. Pastor
I was just
Chad
gonna say that.
got the email
Yeah.
from Janet saying we're not buying any food. Basically,
Yeah.
how come we're not buying food?
Yeah.
Because
Because
it's all donated.
it's all doned. And I'm not talking.
People are bringing-
We've had a good amount of people from the church even bringing meals in, right?
These
bringing
are,
food in.
that's why I don't go down a lot at dinner
cool.
time, because I just gained too much weight. I mean, these are home cooked meals. I mean, the classic thing is like, oh, tonight's Monday, yeah. Oh, Kevin and Claire are going to bring in. Hopefully, Kevin makes his
So
homemade
cool.
chili and cornbread.
So cool.
Oh,
Kevin's
Kathy,
chili is pretty good. I found
yeah,
out. by
Kathy
the
will
way.
be bringing in her tuna or chicken casserole, something like that. They know this.
I think
And
that's
then-
kind of unique to
awesome.
us as well. That like we eat pretty well. I don't
Well,
know that
even
other
this year,
shelters have
Yeah.
that.
you started doing the holiday things.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when holidays happen, you'll just
Thanksgiving.
automatically
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
You'll just plan like, hey, we're going to have a
We're
big
having it
meal.
here.
You
And
did a
there
Super
was-
Bowl,
everybody's-
Super Bowl party.
So we had a
All
Super
right.
Bowl party.
So
It was
cool, dude.
packed.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was packed.
Yep.
But yeah, Becca brought in 2 turkeys, a ham, and all the fixins.
So we do want to shout out to her too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like you're amazing, but like her name's come
Yeah,
up multiple
it's-
times. Like this is another gal that goes to the Lapine location, the door, that's really thrown herself at this. And
Unbelievable,
She's
yeah.
been a huge help.
You've said
on a lot
too
of
that
levels.
like this year, it's just the best staff, the best.
It's been the best staff,
vibe.
and it's been majority.
They're not the worst staff you've ever had.
No, this is the first year.
Sorry, that was an inside joke.
the first year we've been able to have a male and a female on,
Yeah.
which has made an unbelievable difference.
That is huge.
Unbelievable.
That-
No, literally.
There's another change that's been made. That
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's crazy. It's just, and we have 2 or 3 females that are there every night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a challenge in the past.
Yeah, it has been, and you can tell, no, I'm okay, type of thing. But boy, it's like, hey, is Becca here? Yeah, can you send Becca in? Sure, I'll send her in, or whatever. So,
awesome.
yeah,
Probably
it's
worth
just-
asking. Who is it that wrote your name on your paper?
Becca.
Becca. Did.
Okay, just want to make sure we got that
This is
on
what
record.
I did. She does all the HMIS thing, and like I said, she's my paid secretary.
Does she pack your lunchbox? every
No,
day?
she doesn't. That she doesn't do. But yeah, so
Sliced
I said
apples?
I need some statistics.
Yeah.
And so she
Cuts the crust off the sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can I get a sandwich to go to? while I'm
Okay, we
reading
need to
this?
go eat now. I'm getting hungry. What was I going to say? Something. Oh, support. We were talking about. We were closing with support of the body of Christ. Prayer is obviously the biggest thing.
Yes.
Not just because of like the good things. We put this on your prayer list for all you prayer warriors, the Warming Center Ministry, Gordon, Becca, staff and volunteers, because it is. I kind of want to be like dramatic, but it's potentially a dangerous. I mean, you don't.
It can be, sure.
You don't know what's going to happen, and so we want people to be able to do their job without something tragic occurring. But we also want to see more of the rewards of the ministry, like we've talked
Right.
about. We want to see more people come out of that lifestyle, and
We've had some wonky things happen.
We've
some
had
difficult
some-
people.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate over the years that God has kept everybody safe
Yeah.
and all of that, but it hasn't been without
Yep.
some difficulties.
There's
and
risk
even
in everything.
and
you
even
do.
for grants, keep
Yeah.
that can be part of your prayer, because we rely largely, for the most part, on grants, and so those aren't really guaranteed from year to year. They kind of
Right.
they
Yeah, we
kind
don't
of
know from
change.
year to year especially now. What's, how that's
Thanks,
gonna-
Elon.
We'll be fine. I just have total confidence in it. I think
You know
We're
what?
committed to this one way or another.
We're,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to make it happen.
We'll make it
one way or
happen.
You know,
another.
we've
So-
had years. Matter of fact, I think it was last year, but we've had years where we've started the season not knowing if we were going to get money to cover
Right,
expenses.
exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and the staff
Everybody
generally
showed up.
seemed to be
Totally.
pretty committed,
Yeah.
kind of no matter what, which is another cool thing that
Yeah.
we're doing
14
this
hours,
thing,
as you guys know, is a long
It's
shift.
it's a long
Yeah.
shift. I've
Yeah.
pulled it a few
Yeah,
times.
I know you
alone.
have. I have.
And it's like
oh.
bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for what
Hey,
you do, and thank you for
thanks
doing it well.
Thanks for having
Thank
me
you
on.
for
I really appreciate
doing
that.
it like a Christian.
It's really just a huge answer to prayer when we were thinking about how we need this managed well, who would be the right guy. And when God, put you
Yep.
in our crosshairs,
Yep.
your background, and then not only that, you've got the law enforcement background, so you're somebody that's, people aren't going to mess with that, you're kind of no nonsense when it comes to
Right.
that, but you've also got this big heart for
it's crazy.
people.
Yeah.
And that's what's been so cool to see. It's like this balance of both of those things. You're
Right.
kind of the perfect guy for this job. And so
Yeah.
we're really fortunate to have you. And we thank,
Well, I'll work
thankful
it
for
as
you.
long as I'm alive or
Yeah.
it's still there or whatever.
Yeah.
If you guys still want me, I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean you're
we do.
leading it like Brent's saying.
I
You're-
just, I can't. Literally, I think about this every day.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
No, you've
know,
taken it
every
to
day.
to a new level.
it's been a blessing.
We saw that the first time you came in, like where
Yeah.
you agreed that you were going to. Actually, we had our first meeting after asking you if you would do it, and you came and sat down with us. And I can't, like the thickness of your notebook and all the questions you had and all the
yeah.
papers you
Yeah.
had. And I'm like, this is kind of a little crazy on us, And,
Yeah.
and again, it was just reinforcement of just how you do what God's given you to do is
Yeah,
like
that's
amazing.
great.
It's perfect. So thank you for your consistency and your faithfulness and your ownership
My
of this
pleasure.
thing that's very important to the Lord, because everybody is important to the Lord, and the church
exactly.
needs to be the ones that champion that first and foremost. And so we're proud. We actually feel proud as pastors that something like this is coming out of our little church.
It's
you know.
crazy. That
It's
church
pretty-
is
it's pretty cool.
busy.
Yeah,
It never stays stagnant.
yeah.
There's meetings. It's. I think Becca's got a meeting thing she talked to you about, or Brent. Coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Should be
I
the
think she mentioned to
facility.
both of us.
Let's talk about it today.
Yeah.
All right, let's go eat. One of you guys pray us out, please.
All right. Lord, thanks for today and just for our conversation. Thanks for Gordon and just that he's just part of our fellowship, regardless of the other things that he does, but also for the other things that he does, and just the help that he is and the blessing that he is, and just all of the staff that participate in the Warming Center operations and the heart that you've given them to serve a segment of the community that's often overlooked. And so just pray that things would continue to run smoothly and go well, that we'd be able to continue just year over year to improve on how we do things, and also we pray that you would continue to provide for how we do things as well. We thank you for all this and ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.